Nigerians have been advised to make a wise choice in 2023 to ensure the emergence of a credible leadership that would halt the rot and usher in a fresh new era of decency in the country. The advice is coming from political watchers who have also identified the lack of appropriate leadership as the main challenge facing the country. They say that 2023 provides the people with the opportunity to save the country from completely going down in all indices of development, and cautioned against voter apathy, which has mitigated against credible elections in Nigeria today. They, however, alluded to what is described as the youth bug and that eagerness of that demography to change the status quo through the ballot box. Joining us now to discuss this and other issues around Nigerians that drive towards the enthronement of effective leadership in 2023 is Pastor Ituah Ighodalo, the head of Trinity House and the convener of the Rebuild Nigeria initiative. Good to have you on Newsday this afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, so you've been a strong advocate for the church to set good examples for good governance and good leadership. And as you think about the 2023 elections, how can the church better prepare the people to vote and also to vote responsibly?
Well, the church is supposed to be the bastion of goodness, discipline, forthrightness, the fear of God. And what has happened over the years is that the church has derelicted on this duty, thinking that there should be a separation of church from state, church from politics and things like that. But now I think the church is waking up to groom its people effectively so that the people are better people themselves, and waking up to wake up the people to their responsibility of getting involved. So the church is waking up the people, telling them to get involved, get their PVCs. You must get your PVC, otherwise you don't have any seat at the table. And then you must choose wisely. And one of the things we need to do is to set out clear criteria of the kinds of leaders that we want, and to gravitate or look for those leaders and try to get them in place.
All right, sir. With the current state of things in our country, people are losing hope. Why should people still hold on to faith and hope that things can actually change for the better in our nation, Nigeria?
Things always change. Nothing remains the same. And when there's 7 years of plenty, there'll be 7 years of drought. And when there's 7 years of drought, there'll be another 7 years of plenty. So things are going to change, and we can't roll over and die. We must continue to aspire to get things better and so on and so forth. And I think sometimes it takes for you to see the situation as it is. And one of the things that we've seen with this administration is the situation as it is. Even the blind can see what's going on in Nigeria now. And we must all come collectively together to make it better.
Now, we understand that a group of concerned citizens are getting together to address the challenges of leadership in Nigeria. Can you tell us more about this group? What is the group about? What is it planning to do?
Well, I don't know exactly which group you are referring to, but I belong to the Rebuild Nigeria initiative, and there's quite a few others. And these are people who ordinarily may not have been interested in this thing called leadership and politics, but things have gotten so bad, let me say so good, in Nigeria that everybody is waking up. And what we're trying to do is, number one, have a leadership search. We're not going to wait for the parties to come and throw to us any double two-legged or whatever kind of candidate. We want to go and actually look for a leadership, the kind of leadership that we want. Number two, wake up people to know that they must get involved. Number three, set out criteria of what we need to do. And number four, ensure that the process is transparent, the votes are counted, and that we get the kinds of results that we want. And encourage people that unless you get involved, things are going to remain as they are or get even worse. But the most important thing is to search for the right kind of leader at every level, councillor, to the ward, to the local government, to the governorship, and to the and then to sound a clear warning that some people shouldn't even bother. Okay, a lot of people who have tried before and they have failed, or they've not been competent enough, people who are not sincere, people who don't think about Nigeria, people who are selfish, and pursuing what they want other than what we need in Nigeria, people who are corrupt, people who are visionless, people who are not ready to work hard, we're going to try our best to discourage them from getting involved. Or if they do, to make sure that they don't get to where they want to go to. We deserve, we need, we must have outstanding leadership in Nigeria. If there's no such thing, then Nigeria may not survive if we're not careful.
And that's very true. But Pastor Ituah, it seems that some people may say that it's nice that the church is coming out to say something now, but it's a little bit late. I'm wondering why it is that individuals, I mean, we have a lot of very well-educated, very good-meaning pastors and clergymen out there, why they haven't bandied up to say something about the state of the nation before it got to this state, or even try to encourage more Nigerians, as they've had an opportunity to every Sunday.
I'll be very honest with you. The first thing was the church teachings and doctrines. When I became born again, they gave us the impression that leave government to government, get out of politics.
Right.
Politics is dirty, don't go there. You get corrupted, you get your hands burnt. They couldn't connect leadership, politics, economics, and governance. That's number one. Number two, the church, in its trying to be unbiased and this and that, don't get involved, it's none of your business, and so on and so forth. Number three is that some churches and some church leaders were compromised, okay? And they'll rather hang out with government people and have government people at their functions and say, I'm the president's friend, I'm the vice president's friend, I'm the governor's friend. And sometimes there's money distributed also. So that keeps some of them at bay. And then the fourth is that they didn't realize the amount of power and influence that they had. So these things has kept the church a little bit away. And then sometimes you are really under threat. You know, one of the challenges of governance is that people don't want to hear the truth. And when you tell the people in leadership the truth, they begin to threaten you, threaten your business, threaten your economy, and sometimes even threaten your life. And most of the time, yeah, don't get involved, or they'll come after you. Nobody can come after anybody. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and we have to make Nigeria work. And if we do make Nigeria work, even the people in government, in politics, they'll live a better life. That's what they don't realize. So we must all come together and bake a bigger pie. We must stop this prodigal economy where we just want to go to the center, divide the money, and everybody takes the money away. We're not going to do that anymore. There's more than enough resource for us to bake a bigger pie in Nigeria and make Nigeria better for everyone. That's what we want to do.
All right, sir. Some would say that there is an awakening right now, looking back at the last two election cycles. But some would say it's too late. I mean, it's too early to begin to look forward, that things like this are almost transgenerational in terms of building leaders that can probably push the agenda and the change that we're looking forward to. If we use America as a model, for example, we see people being groomed from their counties before they rise to some of the highest ranks. How do we do that here in Nigeria, whereby we have people, so to speak, infiltrate these big parties, but starting from the grassroots, and we see them rise like milk to the top?
Well, the first is awareness, and that is a big break from the past. You know, in the past, a lot of people were not aware. You know, come election time, people are playing football. That's when you're getting along with your girlfriend and making babies. That's when you're doing all sorts of things. This is a holiday, and you think it doesn't concern you.
Right.
Now, Buhari has made us realize that it concerns all of us. And if you don't get involved, you are going to really get into a mess. So the first is awareness. So everybody now is aware. Then the second is motivation. And that's why people like me are speaking and talking to people and getting engaged and telling people that you must get involved. You're not going to stay on the sidelines and think everybody else can do it, okay? And it's never too late. You know, when you wake up, is your morning. Okay, and I believe in prayer, and I believe in the hand of God also. But the hands of men must also move, okay? And when God sees you moving, he meets you halfway. You know, Singapore, they had a quick leapfrog with Lee Kuan Yew. So we just need one person that will get there, and God to take that person there. but the person also must step up and make themselves available. So we're on the right path. I don't think it's too late. I think we just all need to work very, very hard.
Well, like you said earlier, a lot of people, believe that politics is dirty, your life could be threatened, and some people believe that you have to be very rich or connected to a political godfather before you can get into office here in Nigeria. So how does Rebuild Nigeria Initiative plan to tackle that belief, that Nigerians have, that if you're not connected, if you're not rich, then you can't get there, even though you're competent and you're capable to lead?
Well, it is true that the way politics has gone in Nigeria is that it's become a transaction and a monetary thing, but people are getting more aware, and one of the first things to do is to educate people and inform them. It's not going to be an overnight thing, but we're ready to do the work, and that's part of what Rebuild Nigeria is trying to do. Educate people, inform them, let them know what their rights are. The second is to build bridges and have peace dialogues. One of the things I said last year, even around this time, was that we know who the owners of Nigeria are. We know the people holding this country down. We're going to engage them, and we're going to talk to them, and we have been engaging them and telling them it's better for it to be better for all of us.
And how's that going?
It's going very well, because incidentally, some of them are feeling the pinch also, even though they're the owners of Nigeria, but they're feeling the pinch one way or the other. So we're talking, people are talking. So that's part of what Rebuild is going to do, have dialogues across the bridges and inform people and educate them. And then, yes, you do need money for politics. You need money to let people know. You need money to promote, but you don't need half as much money as is being wasted today on this political journey. And by the time people are better informed and they know that some people are sincere, what we lack is sincerity and a thought for the generality. Once we are able to do that, things will begin to change. I'm so convinced about it.
Just permit me to just chip this one in for the brevity of time. You seem to have listed what we should be looking for in some candidates. Some would say that Professor Yemi Osinbajo fits all this particular criteria and the requisites. What's your thought about him as a potential Joseph, like you've just been alluding to?
I do think he is. He has the possibilities, okay? He fits a lot of the criteria. There are other people also who fit the criteria, okay? Maybe you refer to him because he seems closer to it. That's possible. He fits the criteria. He's a good man. He's a very, very good friend of mine. But there are also quite a lot of other people who fit the criteria as well. But then he also has to play the politics, because right now he's between two really, really very challenging situations, and I really do feel for him. And I hope that he's able to maneuver the politics that he has found himself in. But definitely, he is one of the people that fits that criteria. I mean, there's no single person that ticks every box. But I mean, if you get 60 or 70% or 80%, is a far cry from having 2% or 10% or 20% that we've had in most of the other leaders that we've had. So I think it's a step in the right direction, and I want to encourage everybody else who feels that they have this kind of capacity, this kind of vision, this kind of character, and especially the love for Nigeria. You know what is missing the most in Nigeria? That nobody loves Nigeria. Everybody wants to rape Nigeria and take something out of Nigeria, but nobody wants to contribute to build Nigeria. So we're really looking for people who love Nigeria, who are passionate about Nigeria, who love the ordinary folk on the streets, who really want to work hard for the benefit of Nigeria and not for their own benefit. That's the main criteria that we need. Then we need vision, we need capacity, we need intelligence, we need exposure, we need knowledge, we need understanding, and we need a lot of compassion. So these are the kinds of people we're trying to look for at this present point in time. And I'm sure there are a few of them out there at this time, just to awaken them that don't be afraid of politics. It's human beings that are playing politics. Get involved and just try. You never know until you try, and you never know what can happen until you try. So show up and be part of the process.
Well, very wise words. I want to ask what role you think the youth and women can play. Recently, a very popular entertainer, Banky W, he has he's had political ambition for a while, but he just announced his candidacy. We don't see that a lot of our people in entertainment or celebrities, so to speak. What role do you think the women, celebrities, and youth play, seeing as how they have large numbers and they're quite influential?
I really want to salute Banky W for his courage and for stepping up. He's a very, very nice young man, his head on his shoulders, and he's very determined. And I know for a fact that he's looking at the long run, and it's really not for personal gain. And we really want a lot of those influencers to step up. The challenge with a few of them is that they're very insular, inside looking, and they're more interested in their own careers and so on and so forth. But the truth is that if Nigeria is not functioning properly, there's a limit to how far their careers can go, especially within these shores. So they need to know that they need to invest a bit in the development of Nigeria so that their own careers can progress. So I want to call them. I want to tell the people, especially the NSAS people, not to be afraid anymore. There's nothing for them to be afraid of. A lot of them have gone out there and made a sacrifice. Their blood was spilled in that toll gate. That blood is not for nothing. The Lord Almighty is listening to that blood and is going to react to that blood and make sure that it's not a wasted blood. So they shouldn't be afraid. They should get involved. They should come out. They should show up. They should get their PVCs. They should organize themselves. They had phenomenal organization. And there's nothing that any government or anybody can do to stop people from wanting and getting what they want. And right now, some of us need to speak out to government also and say, give these young people a chance, and they have our full support. They should show up. They shouldn't be afraid. There's space for them, and we need to get them involved. The leader of Dubai, he made a 27-year-old his minister for artificial intelligence because he knew exactly what he was doing. As for women, women should just take charge. Don't beg the question. Don't look at these men. You know, there's nothing that the men have. Just take charge and move. You have the numbers.
Yes,
support yourselves.
Yes,
take charge. What are you waiting for? Why do you keep feeling second class in this world that we're in? You know, my mother was the first female permanent secretary of Nigeria. She took charge. She didn't wait for any man. So you just come out there and take charge and run for office and insist on running for office. Go and become chairman of companies. Go and become MD. You guys are doing phenomenally well. So don't wait. You know, these bills you want to pass, just carry your bills, go to the place and say, pass my bill or you don't leave this place. End of story. And just get many more women running for office. Honestly, people like us will support you. All I want, I don't care who it is, male, female, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Ifa worshiper, I really don't care, to be honest. What I want is people who want to do something great in Nigeria. I have friends from everywhere. I go everywhere. One day I showed up in the shrine, even though I'm a pastor.
That's awesome.
I showed up in the shrine. Femi is my friend. I showed up and I said, I'm here, you know, to support you. As a matter of fact, it was the vice president and I that went. I can't remember what Femi was doing that day. We went. I showed
Which Femi are you talking about, right?
Femi Kuti.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I mean, what we want are good people. You know, Fela, for example, was a prophet. He was so profound. You need to go and listen to some of his music.
Oh, we have.
Oh, profound. He saw the future. The same things he was complaining about, still the same. Even worse now.
So just for the sake of time, let me interrupt you. You've said a lot of things. We need a leader with vision, a leader that loves Nigeria. And you know, when you say it, it sounds really good. But the current reality on the ground is that the economy right now is in shambles. Nigerians are hungry. These people that raped and looted the country are still seeking power, and they have the money to throw around. So how do you think you would actually get Nigeria to listen to this message that you're passing across when we have people that are willing to buy the offices that they are seeking, and we have Nigerians that are desperate for this money?
That's the problem. They have weaponized poverty, and they did it deliberately. But if you inform people, when the people are knowledgeable, you see, money can fail, and money does fail. Information is stronger than money. When you give somebody information and knowledge and understanding, which is what we need to work at, and we need Arise and Channels and STV and all of them to come up and inform the people. When the people become knowledgeable, they also weaponize the literacy deliberately. You know, you need to know the things that I know. But if you can go out there and inform the people, then the money will fail. Bring your money or perish with your money. Let me just have my country and have my security, my safety. Money can fail. I've seen money fail many times. You know, I've seen people look at people with money and say, "With you and your money, forget it. I'm not interested in your money." And contentment is great gain. You know, but people are really going through stuff. There's no doubt. So a lot of us need to be more empathetic towards people, kinder towards people, nicer towards people, but tell them that there are things that are greater than money. You know, as a pastor, I go to the hospital every day. People are rich. In spite of their money, they cannot pay for good health. They cannot pay for peace of mind. They cannot pay for security. They cannot pay for joy. They cannot even pay for a good home. There's some things that money cannot buy. And these so-called rich people, I've seen many things in my life. I've never seen somebody take money to hell or heaven.
All right. Permit me to put this forward. There are two kinds of politics. Politics as it ought to be, and politics as it is. The Mogaloos, the Showares, the Feladurotois actually got a very bitter pill in the last election cycle. How do we close that gap so that we get a little bit closer? Because what you're saying is laudable, but when we try to bring it to reality, the PDPs, the APCs of this world will still dominate, because right now there's a huge power grab in terms of zoning and trying to position candidates for the next election cycle. And these candidates we're talking about might not even feature closely or remotely in this particular talk. How do we bridge that gap so that little by little we are having watersheds that will finally blossom?
Yeah, the first thing is to manage expectations. And why the Showares and the Mogaloos and things got a little bit of what you call a bitter pill is that they didn't manage their expectations and they didn't understand what they wanted. I see a lot of people wake up, I want to be president, I want to be president. From where to where? The president of Nigeria is not beans. 215 million people, and people who have been entrenched in politics since 1960. Some of them have been in power. And you just wake up one day, you know, you want to be president of Nigeria. You haven't even sunk a borehole in your own local government. People have to be realistic, you know. You have to start from somewhere. You know, why don't you start from a council or local governments and have a long-term plan rather than you just wake up, you just want to be president? Who does that? So people themselves have to be realistic. You know, the people in PDP, they've been investing in politics since 1999, 1998. True. Some of them have gone to exile and come back. In fairness to them, they invested. They lost their shirts. They did a lot of things. Then you wake up and just think you can walk in like that? Their livelihood? No. So we need to be realistic, and we need to have a long-term plan. Let's start bit by bit by bit by bit. Let's start with a message. Let's start with a clear vision. Let's start with a direction. Let people be able to see the difference between chalk and cheese. Let people be able to know that it can be better than what these people are offering you. The first time around, they may not vote for you. They vote for them. No problem. They will come back again. You voted for this man last year. What did you get out of it? Try me this year. Then one day you'll say, okay, you know what? You have not given me any money today, but I will try you. Because the one that gave me money the last time, my child died going to a hospital because there was no hospital. No problem. That's where you now have circumstances move on your behalf. Obaseki may never have been governor of Edo State, but he moved against a system that sometimes even created him and said, this is what to do. And the people rose up and said, Edo no be Lagos. It took awareness for them to suddenly realize that we can do this thing a little bit differently. And bit by bit, you light the fires. So let nobody have unrealistic expectations. let us think long-term. You know, a lot of these people, they are long-term thinkers. They didn't start yesterday. The man who wants to be president didn't start yesterday. He started in 1999 to want to be president in 2003. Let us all start also and say, in another few years, you will be president.
Hey.
Wow, that would be
What's to
Thank
live by?
you, sir.
What's to live by?
From your lips to God's ears. It's too bad you're not running or for any kind of office. We definitely need some motivation in the country right now. Thank you so much for
You
joining
can
our
never
discussion.
tell.
Thank you so much for joining the discussion this afternoon. Thank you so much for coming to Newsday.
Thank you for having me. God bless you. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.